In the wrestling world, the people are represented by two separate but unequally important groups. The wrestlers and bookers, who literally do all the hard work, and the fans, who endlessly nitpick and overanalyze everything they do. These are their stories.
Hey! It's Warhorse, and you need to shut your mouth, open your eyes, and clean out your ears, because it's time to listen to the Raw and Order Podcast. That's right, they're bringing you the best in all that meaty podcasty goodness in one, what is it, an hour? Two? Who cares? Who gives a shit? You need to listen to it right now, or else Warhorse is gonna, roll your ass!
Welcome to another episode of Raw and Order, the wrestling booking unit, the only wrestling podcast on the planet that's been up for 36 hours sitting in an ICU room. Not for me, but their long story. My world has been a shit show this last 36 hours. I am your host, Detective Mark Smarks, and I am joined, as always, by my partner in crime, fighting District Attorney Vincent Kayfabe. What's going on, man? How are you?
Oh, well, I haven't been up for 36 hours straight, so that's a good sign for me.
It's
and
basic.
Less so for you.
I got a little bit of a doze in around like 3 in the morning.
That's a good time to be sleeping.
But it's been a crazy day. Crazy 2 days.
I bet.
Crazy. But just to full disclosure on it, what I'm referring to is my mom is in the ICU. She is not doing well. But there's nothing that I can do. And so I'm here for some normality.
Well,
for normal.
Myself and our fans definitely appreciate that you're here.
Normalcy? Is that the best word? That the right word?
Normality?
My brain don't think good right now. Yeah. Anyways, no JLB because he's too tired from karaoke.
That'll do her.
That karaoke is just...
Gets him every time, bud.
It's a lot. It's a lot karaokeing. Karaokeing. Karaokeing.
Karocking?
My words don't good today. This is the show where we talk about news and events and stuff, and we bitch about shit in professional wrestling. So we're going to talk about that. We always start off by reminding people that we are part of the Tatnisco Podcast Network. So in the doobly-doos, there's a link to tatnisco.com. You can head on over there and see all of the good stuff from there. I know, I realize we've been saying link is in the doobly-doos and stuff like that, and that Twitch doesn't really have doobly-doos. So there's link in the top comment or to the stuff there in Twitch. But yes, head on over there. Wait until after the show to head on Tatnisco because, watch the show first, I guess. But yeah, we'll get into all of the fun stuff. It was kind of a crazy week in professional wrestling.
It was.
All around.
Good crazy, though.
Well, yeah, some good. Some confusing. Some, I don't know. I think we talked about it on Fantasy Booking. I'm still not entirely sure what the fuck they're doing with Finn Balor and Edge and all of that, but
I think most people aren't entirely sure what they're doing with Finn Balor.
Let's give that the benefit of the doubt that they've got a plan, which...
Well, I think they had a plan. Sadly, I think the plan was for Cody not to go straight to title view, which is where most of us were putting him. I think they were thinking another feud for Cody where he was going up against the toughness of maybe Edge's group.
I don't know. I think they were leaning towards because Cody's whole promo that he delivered before getting beaten down by Seth Rollins one more time. His whole promo was that he wanted to go to Money in the Bank so he could get the briefcase and have a shot at the title, at the World WWE title.
Well, and he was what they were promoting it with.
And so, but his injury is one thing. But, the whole Edge getting kicked out of the thing makes no fucking sense. And reports backstage, I did looking a little bit more into it. I know JLB mentioned it. Although JLB, he don't word good all the time either. And I think what JLB was meaning to say is that they had talks of turning it into a supernatural group. But all JLB would say, they wants to make it a super group.
Wow, kind of ragging on the guy who ain't here.
That's the best time to rag on someone. Always.
He deserves it.
But so yeah, reports have it that they said we want to make it maybe a supernatural type group. And Edge was like, no, we can still be. And they said, no, fuck it, you're out. We'll put Finn Balor there instead.
I've discovered there's a lot of that fuck your push shit. When even if it's the slightest hint of a no, just listening to some podcasts, whether it's The Fiend, whether it's Funkasaurus, whether it's all these different people that had a push scheduled. No is not the word for a push. They want you to wear polka dots. You fucking wear polka dots, and you make it fucking work. Which props to the two motherfuckers who've worn polka dots.
Yeah, they both fucking made it work.
One was an anti-homage, but the other one was,
But, I guess I don't know how you look at Edge, a person who's got over 20 years experience in professional wrestling, has multiple times made top tier gimmicks work, gimmicks that did not have a lot of support backstage. Like, I guarantee you there was no one backstage who was sold on the 5-second pose when he first pitched it,
I just realized my lighting's all wrong. Hold on. Keep going. I'm listening.
But
there
you go. Now we can see the shirt behind you. But yeah, that's and he made it work, Rated R Superstar was a gimmick he put together, and he made it work. And then they come to him on this, and he's like, nope, you're out. We're gonna do this supernatural. Now that's just like dirt sheet reporting,
yeah.
And it could be all BS. We don't know.
Well, the rumor is that they wanted another face, a different face, because Cody's not around, and so you want to talk a guy who's kind of synonymous with that upcoming pay-per-view, cash in the briefcase or whatever it's fucking called. That's Edge. Give him back his ultimate opportunist.
Yeah. The problem is,
give Roman a double match, 2 matches on the same pay-per-view.
He's most synonymous. He's most synonymous with the Money in the Bank, but not as a face.
No, and Money in the Bank works better if you're a heel, but
it does. It always does.
But there's room right now with this Roman thing. There's room for not doing it dirty. Not to mention, Big E kind of showed us that's not dirty. If you say, when your match is over, I'm going to challenge. Not when you're as weak as possible, not any of that. Just when your match is over, you're going to have another match. Well, Roman could really be set up to look very, very dominant and have Edge say, when your matches are over, you have one at the beginning of the card, one at the end of the card. By the way, you actually have a third match.
Yep.
And so
it's going to be me.
And it's going to be me. Yeah.
It's gonna be me.
Fair enough. NSYNC is going to be. That's his new intro song. It's just going to come out. It's going to be me with NSYNC. Guess what? Just that comes on. That'd be great. Anyway, I was actually more surprised by the Riddle push, by the Riddle versus Roman. I think he's getting squashed next Friday, but
yeah. Well, the only thing that could play into it is the fact that Roman is reportedly moving to more of a part-time schedule for undisclosed reasons, potentially Hollywood. But that would open up a reason, get Riddle one of the belts so that they can have a full-time champion on. I don't know. I'm not behind Riddle winning. I would rather see Randy come and cost him the title and then win it himself and get that next notch on his belt. Anyways, but WWE had good, Raw was decent. It wasn't great, but it was decent. Like I said, that's part of what's so frustrating with WWE is they can put on a legitimately good pay-per-view like Hell in a Cell was, all in all, although I would have appreciated at least 2 Hell in a Cell matches, and there were a couple not great matches, but and then they come along and they're just meh, and half-ass a couple weekday shows and then go from there.
Yeah, I just think the move, I think the proper move, if Roman's going to go to part-time, is to take one of the damn titles off of him. And you can do it with Money in the Bank and 2 other contenders at the same show and just be like, you haven't defended it. Remember when that used to be a thing? You haven't defended that title in 30 days.
Yeah.
That was a thing they did to Hulk Hogan in NWO.
I indeed remember that.
I think that's the smart move. But I've been wrong before. If he is going to go part time, you need to open him up to lose those titles, though.
Yeah,
I think that this week is set up so Roman can have a match at Money in the Bank. Because if you notice, Sheamus and Drew went to a no contest, which means neither of them are in that Money in the Bank match. And I think one of them can come out and maybe not cost Roman the match, cost Riddle his title. Oh, look at you. Having the fun.
Works.
All right, now we're going to have to see if I can do it.
My computer is not happy, though.
Well, I am on the Snap camera now, so I'll have to turn on Snap camera. So let me go do that. Anyway, hey, Danhausen, what are you doing?
Just collecting the humans' monies.
Getting the monies from the humans
Yeah, no, I don't know if they're 100% on what they're gonna do with Roman right now. But either they need to officially unify the titles into one belt.
Well, that doesn't work very well, does it?
Yeah, that
I am Keith Lee's shoulder.
Can you drag the mouth someplace?
I don't think I can. Yeah, it's just really misplaced. How about now?
Nope, it's misplaced now too.
Where
Your
is it
floating
even?
face
Oh, there it
underneath
is.
the logo.
This is a Swiss smile. Yep, that's not working.
But
anyway, moving forwardly. Forwardly.
Don't think about it.
I'm going with it, bud. I'm rolling with it. There we go. Now we have our fun.
That's a weird one to just have Roman Reigns just hanging out in front of me.
It is a little bit, but at least he's animated.
Could be weird blurred out behind John Cena. Some of these filters are fucking dumb.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of snap filters that are not very cool. Okay. Fair enough.
WrestleMania.
Booyaka, booyaka! So I'm doing the rest of the podcast like this. Right here. Okay, maybe not. I don't want to be Rey Mysterio. Oh, look. Yeah, there we are. Both hanging out on the shoulder of Rusev.
That works wonderfully.
I think that has to be on a phone. I'm going to guess. AEW. Maybe AEW has different ones. Oh. Yeah, so I have no clue who I am there.
That was Brandon Cutler.
This one is?
Yeah. When he had his D&D gimmick, maybe.
Is this Adam Cole, maybe? I don't know. Nope, I know who this is. This is Havoc. Jimmy Havoc before he got fired.
Now, yeah, you're probably right. Anyways, click this one.
Yeah, these are silly.
This one sucks. That one has absolutely nothing to do with AEW. No. So I'm just going to go back to my good old favorite. So that's the way I go. Anyways, we are obviously way off track.
Yes, we are.
So I want to get us back a little bit on track because I want to talk AEW. WWE is got its own sort of things, but AEW had what I would consider a pretty good week.
Yeah.
Even though they were doing a lot of bouncing back from injuries and stuff like that to deal with. So they had the Casino Battle Royal to determine one of the contestant, whoever was going to go and face Jon Moxley, and whoever won that match was going to go on to Forbidden Door to face someone from New Japan to become the interim AEW World Heavyweight Champion. I'm not going to go bit by bit on it. It was won by Kyle O'Reilly, though, which was surprising to me. I kind of thought they were leading up to Andrade winning it, maybe with
because he was
assistance
the last entrant or what?
He was the last entrance, but also they booked him to look really strong. He also, of the people came in, was the most, I don't want to say main event ready, but sort of like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's someone that we haven't seen face off with Moxley a lot, so it could be an exciting showdown for the main event. Instead, it was Kyle O'Reilly, which did surprise me, but it meant we ended up having an absolute banger of a main event, Kyle O'Reilly versus Jon Moxley, which was really, really fun to watch. Jon Moxley ended up winning, setting up Jon Moxley versus somebody to be determined at New Japan Dominion, which has since happened, and we'll talk about that. AEW also introduced a new belt and had a match, Pac versus Buddy Matthews, to be the first All-Atlantic champion for AEW. And as best I can tell, All-Atlantic is going to end up being basically AEW's version of like the Intercontinental belt. Although, at least for the time being, they are grounding it in people who are international, like not Americans to start off with. Pac versus Buddy Matthews was the first match in this tournament. And put that right in my veins. I was loving this match. Pac won, so he goes on to the next round in the tournament. And I would have absolutely no problem with him being crowned the first All-Atlantic wrestler. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about the elephant in the room, and that's the fact that the All-Atlantic Wrestling Championship belt also includes Japan on it, which is very, very importantly not in the Atlantic. But I am going to overlook that because the belt is fucking gorgeous. It's another belt by Red Leather Designs, who did the women's championship belt, and importantly, it is very reminiscent of the women's belt. It's got a very similar design style to the women's belt. I'm trying to find a good enough picture really quickly to show it off. It's Sting!
There you go.
Yep, there we go. Sting and Danhausen together again. No, together again.
There we go. That's the version of Sting I'm going to be.
Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. We'll pack it back to the match of wrestling. Bad boys of wrestling. So this, I just want to show this in case someone out there has not seen it yet. This is the new All-Atlantic Championship belt. And I think this is absolutely gorgeous, right? But it is important to note that's the
Japan
flag right
and China, or Japan and is that Russia? Neither of them touch the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah,
whatsoever. Nope, that's China. It's not Russia. That's China.
But it's still an absolutely gorgeous belt, hands down. Right?
They've done a great
job. Filigree in it. The detail. I love the design. The square. Like I said, this overall design is very similar to the women's belt with the four corner rosettes and everything. I've always liked AEW's desire to have the plates kind of interlock so you can see.
Oh, where the grooves are. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, here at the side.
I like that.
Those grooves, line up similar so they could interlock. I just think this is such a beautiful belt. So I'm going to overlook, geography. I know the thing is they named it All Atlantic because they're paying homage to Mid-Atlantic wrestling. But I don't care. I'm over it. The TV title was
they couldn't exactly take Intercontinental.
Yeah, Intercontinental's owned, TV title's owned. And I'm going to point out that the Intercontinental belt on WWE when they introduced it and everything, It was Intercontinental in name only. Like, the only person who I remember embodying it being Intercontinental was D'Lo, because every time he came out, he claimed to be from a different. No, that was the European belt. Never mind, it wasn't even the Intercontinental belt. When D'Lo was the European champion.
However, I will say that Santino did win it in Italy.
But anyways, I think this belt is gorgeous, and so I'm going to overlook all of that stuff. And I'm excited to see who is the eventual champion.
I personally am going to talk shit on it. And I'm going to talk shit on it because you're missing other belts. You have a mid-card belt. There is such a thing as too many belts. We've seen it.
They have 6 belts.
There is such a thing as too many belts in particular divisions.
Yeah.
I think the next move should have been either trios or a women's tag. If you want to say that we genuinely care about women's wrestling, then you should have had a women's tag. And
I think both of those are on the horizon, and both of those will get up there. But I'm going to point out right now, 6 belts is still a lot less than WWE has. Now, yes, WWE has more program, but even if you don't include NXT in it, they've got a SmackDown World Champion, a Raw World Champion, who are currently the same person. You got a SmackDown Tag Team and a Raw Tag Team belt, which are currently the same person. You've got the IC belt and the U.S. title belt. You've got the Women's Championship belt.
They have 2 more.
And the SmackDown women's thing. They still technically have the women's tag. They just don't have a champion. That belt hasn't been discontinued, right? And so it's just currently vacant, right? So that puts
WWE's at 10.
At 10 versus 6.
Double the programming.
Yeah. Well, but that's also not including NXT. If you really talk about double
the programming, I was talking 5 hours to 3 hours.
Well, but if you're, if 5 hours to 3 hours, but AEW Dark counts. Even if it's not on TV, it's still a program that's used in canon, right?
Dark is NXT.
No,
and if you're going to do that, then you got to count ROH.
No, because ROH is a different promotion. Now, yes,
really? When can you go watch ROH?
Eventually they will announce the time for it. And that's what I was going to say. As of right now, yes, the ROH belts are mentioned on AEW TV, but that's not the plan for once Ring of Honor has its own show. It's going to be presented as its own separate thing. Ring of Honor would be the NXT of AEW, if anything, right? Dark does not have its own separate belts. Dark is not considered their developmental league. It doesn't have a separate roster. It uses the same roster as the main show. So Dark and Dark Elevation are still main roster and everything. So they still count, in my opinion, towards their thing. I still say, all these people who say that AEW has too many belts, it's a third less belts than WWE currently has.
I'm going to say...
And again, that's not counting NXT. I am a fluffy tortilla, yes. That's not counting NXT. If you want to include Ring of Honor, we can include NXT and NXT UK, and you still have a vast more belts in WWE. And so, but here's the deal: is I haven't heard anyone arguing WWE has too many belts. And the biggest argument people had against AEW over the last 6 months is that their roster was bloated. So they've got too many people. Well, if they have so many people, then having more belts makes sense, right? What they need then is more television time for those belts. But again, this All Atlantic one, it's going to be like right now. They've got Buddy Matthews from Australia was represented. Pac, Ethan Page versus Miro. So you got Bulgaria and Canada. You've got Sorry, I'm trying to look at this and it's really. You've got Penta Obscura from Mexico and Malachi Black from Holland, Netherlands, right? And then you've got two as yet named New Japan wrestlers in there for Japan. So in the actual tournament, the only ones that are Pacific is Japan. Although Bulgaria is, not really in the Atlantic. So, and then Australia is kind of both, but kind of not, and it's mostly Pacific. Anyways, but I think the belt is gorgeous, and so regardless of whether you think they got too many belts, I think even with too many belts, all of their belts are better looking than 90% of the WWE belts. We can argue against the TNT and the TBS belts, and I will give you points on those. Those are, in my opinion, the weakest AEW belts. But I would still take the TBS and TNT belt over the copper pennies that they use for tag belts in WWE.
I can make my fingers disappear.
That's really weird. I drink behind my face.
Behind your mask?
Anyways. But so, it'll still be fun to see who ends up as the inaugural All-Atlantic. It's going to be at Forbidden Door. So I would say that has given away the final in a way. Because it's going to be a 4-way match, and so I feel like this is going to be one of those. This might be the belt that they use to unify New Japan and AEW in a way. Have a New Japan person win this belt,
Maybe.
And then
I would not be surprised if they do a belt swap on the main belts. I don't think that's a good move, but who won the New Japan?
That's where I was gonna say until Dominion aired, I was gonna say maybe, but there's a couple twists out of New Japan. So New Japan Dominion was yesterday. The big news on it was Jay White defeating Kazuchika Okada. So Jay White is the new New Japan IWGP Heavyweight Champion. I do not think they're going to take it off Jay White less than a month.
You don't think Hangman Page is gonna take it from Jay White?
No, and I'm gonna back that up with the fact that Jay White said, "Hangman, you're not getting a shot at this belt." So, he specifically said, "Hangman, you want Kazuchika Okada? You can have him, but you're not coming anywhere near this belt. You don't get this match."
Ooh.
But I do not think I don't think that's a belt that they hot shot from Okada to Jay White and then from Jay White to Hangman. I think even if they give a Hangman a match against Jay White, they're not going to take the belt off of him less than a month after he won it from Kazuchika.
Well, and the fortunate part for Jay White is that he can use the rules in his favor and get disqualified because they're more likely to do that than AEW has been.
Well, and AEW recently has done some DQs, but even without DQs, Champion's Advantage, Jay White can just fucking walk. And it's not even a DQ, it's just a count out. Hangman would get the victory, but not the belt, But I don't ever remember that paint scheme. But
several very odd paint schemes in this. What is this?
You're the
Am I
lizard.
Thing? I'm a
No,
negative photo of Thing? Lizard?
No, I think that's a lizard. I think it's supposed to be lizard skin. I don't know.
Wow. Boy, there's just a ton of different ones. I mean, 24, 25, 26. That one would have been pretty cool.
But
some of them are very difficult to get to work.
Will Ospreay defeated Sonata to become the IWGP US champion. And that could have implications because Will Ospreay has been appearing on AEW TV. And so I think there's going to be a maybe a Trent Beretta versus Will Ospreay match at Forbidden Door. But I also don't think they're going to hotshot that belt. There actually were a lot of championships change hands at Dominion. Because the tag team championship changed hands. Jeff Cobb and Great O'Khan became the tag champions. The never open weight title changed hands. Tama Tonga lost it to Carl Anderson. The IWGP United States and the IWGP Heavyweight Championship all changed hands at it. And so those all make me think that those championships are probably safe at Forbidden Door. There will be a world title match. And that is going to be Jon Moxley versus Tanahashi for the interim AEW World Championship. And then whoever's holding it when CM Punk comes back from injury will face CM Punk to unify the belt back to one. So, but it looked like a very fun Dominion. But like I say, if Kazuchika Okada had beat Jay White, I would have said that Hangman versus Kazuchika Okada was going to happen, and there's a chance Hangman could win. There's a chance Tanahashi could win and become the interim AEW World Champion. But
I doubt it.
I kind of doubt it, yeah. I think they're going to go with Moxley as the first two-time world title holder. Because they were fairly successful during his first run as title holder, you know. And he's a very popular singer, so. There also was an NWA pay-per-view over the weekend that, for the most part, like, most people aren't going to care about what happened at it, you know. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of people, you know, NWA is not something they watch. The big thing was called Always Ready because it was supposed to be Matt Cardona defending the title against, I think, Trevor Murdoch originally. But that's not what ended up happening because Matt Cardona is injured and he was forced to relinquish the NWA World's Heavyweight title. And then they had a championship match, Nick Aldis versus Trevor Murdoch versus Tom Latimer versus Sam Shaw. And Trevor Murdoch ended up winning. That's the big news out of that. I mean, they had Camille versus Kylan King, which was apparently a pretty fun match, all in all. The other news that came out of it was the opening match of it was Aaron Stevens versus Trevor Murdoch. Aaron Stevens, most well known as Damian Sandow.
Okay.
And after the match, Aaron Stevens announced that before the match, he said it was going to be his last match unless he wins. And then he didn't win. And after the match, he says that it's his last match ever, and he's retiring. Now, we know retirements never last in wrestling. How many times did Terry Funk retire? Ric Flair retire, yeah. There's a lot of people that think Aaron Stevens is retiring as Aaron Stevens, but he's ready to come back as either a previous character, or the big thing that people are pitching is that he shows up on Raw as Elias. I don't know if that's...
I think it's a fun move.
Wait, it's a fun move, but I don't know if it has any weight. But
I think it's way too easy to fuck up. Way too easy to fuck up.
I think the easier way would have been if they would have got Aaron Stevens, Damian Sandow, and had him play Ezekiel.
Yes.
And then have Elias continue to be Elias. Because, I don't know. But we'll find out. AEW Rampage had a couple really cool matches. The big one, I think we're going to talk, emphasis on big one. Big one. Satnam Singh actually wrestled a match for the first time in AEW. It was a tag match. He tagged with Jay Lethal versus two no names, enhancement talent, local talent, and just beat the tar out of him. But what I will say is Satnam Singh doesn't look bad. It was a very short match, so we didn't see a ton out of him. But he didn't look Great Khali slow. He didn't look lumbering, you know. He looked like he could move a bit. He didn't look like Omos. He looked like he could move a bit. And so I'm cautiously optimistic on him.
It was more Braun, less Big Show.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he did
It was not all the way to Braun either. Braun is a very agile man.
Yeah. But Satnam did a diving crossbody that took both of them out, you know?
Correct.
I mean,
that's cooler if he'd have done the Bray Wyatt crossbody halfway through the midsection.
Mm-hmm.
That looks so freaking savage. Also, news on that front. Sounds like he still hasn't signed anything. Yep.
Yeah. It sounds like he's really good at working the crowds. And so he hops on Twitter and changes his Twitter handle. And someone notices and then posts something ominous. And someone notices and goes, blah, 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 Bray Wyatt's back. And
no, he's not.
And then he doesn't come back. This filter's so weird. How far can I cover my face before it disappears?
You can adjust it?
No, I'm just using my microphone. I can get to there.
No, I was impressed with Singh. I like the idea of Moxley winning. I don't know why you wouldn't include Adam Page in that, which was part of the backstage interview.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't in the Battle Royal. He wasn't in anything. And I think it's reasonable to say, hey, you just had a really good match with CM Punk for that title.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I feel like there's maybe a lack of confidence in Adam Page.
No, I think they're telling a different storyline. I think that's what it comes down to. Because that's why he came out to the ring and said he requested not being in that match because he needs to work his way back up to the world title, to the AEW world title. But there is a title that he wants a shot at, and that's the IWGP. And so then he called out Kazuchika Okada, and Adam Cole said, hey, you don't even know if Okada's going to still be the champion come Forbidden Door. Spoiler alert, he's not. It might be my buddy, Jay White. But second of all, you just lost, buddy, back of the line. I just won the Owen Hart Memorial Tournament. So if anyone deserves a shot, it's me. And so that's the storyline that they're telling, is that Hangman has moved to a different target and probably is going to have to go through Adam Cole to get to a shot.
Which, by the way, of all the matches in the world available right now, that's probably number one on my list of put that in my veins.
Mm-hmm.
Another Adam Cole Bebe, Hangman Page.
But
Adam versus Adam. On the opening night of Black Adam.
mm-hmm. Cole versus Page in a cage.
Cole, Page, Cage. Bebe.
With Brian Cage as special guest referee. Christian Cage on commentary. Ethan Page. Standing, watching. Enforcer. I don't know. Anyways, Red Velvet versus Chris Statlander was also on Rampage, and that was actually a really good match. Really fun. They allowed Chris Statlander to be more vicious, kind of to her new character. But both women got a good chance to show. And that was nice. Yeah. I mean, it was a good thing. And then FTR and Trent Beretta versus United Empire for the main event. And a lot of people are kind of giving this crap because Ospreay lost this first.
Ospreay didn't lose, though.
But he didn't lose. Yeah, that's
correct.
Important. Fletcher was the one who took the pin.
Correct.
But it's still, on the stat sheet, Ospreay now has a 0 in his win-loss record. I'm not as critical of it because Ospreay can afford to lose, especially when he's not the one who got pinned, right?
Yeah.
And again,
Ospreay can handle the loss to Moxley that he took.
Yeah.
Especially considering he kicked out on 3.
Yeah.
But I really thought that's what they were building to was Mox Ospreay in the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, but
another piece of news that came out, it wasn't specifically at Dominion, but it's been since Dominion, is in an interview, Zack Sabre Jr. called out Bryan Danielson and challenged him for Forbidden Door. It hasn't been officially announced that that's the way it's going. But,
I feel like Forbidden Door is going to end up being a 2-night pay-per-view. I know it's only scheduled for one, but I feel like
I don't think AEW is going to do 2-night pay-per-views for the time being. I just don't think they do it.
They're already working with a company that does the G1.
Mm-hmm. And so I think what it ends up being is it's going to be something that storylines carry over to the next
pay-per-views.
Yeah, New Japan pay-per-view. And so I would not be. Here's the, if we're going to talk about belts that could go to another company, the tag belts are the one that I think are most likely to. We don't currently have a match set up, but it doesn't, to be perfectly honest, matter who they put it against. Put it against Bullet Club, put it against United Empire, whatever. It's going to be a great match. And those are ones that I can see, especially with the inevitable Christian Cage turn on.
Boy, that is getting louder and louder, isn't it? Holy cow.
Yeah, every time they come out, it's kind of, they're doing the Wardlow thing on this, where every time you think, oh, they're going to pull the trigger, then they don't. And then they do another, you're like, oh, they're going to pull the trigger now, and then they don't. And, well, they're definitely going to pull it now.
I think Cage needs to have a belt when it happens.
I don't think so.
Actually, because I think the really cool thing would be is if that's the same night that they lose the tag belts.
I don't think he needs a belt because, again, this is one of those. I think the storyline can be told about revenge without a belt. I think what it really could be is if Cage has a partner who costs Jungle Boy or Jurassic Express the titles, and then
you get a tag match,
and then they're gonna try to go after the titles. Then you get tag matches to determine whether Christian Cage and insert person here. But anyways, but I just think it was a fun week for wrestling overall. I'm excited for AEW this week. Wardlow's got to face 20 men. It's going to be an absolute smosh.
I figured I'd come on something scary.
You said, come on.
This is as close as they have to Doink. I wonder if I can go green with my hair. Nope, it's not changeable. This one's a sexy clown. Sexy clown face. That one's fucking dark inside.
Here, I'll do the sting face.
You be the stinger. I'm gonna do no faces, I think.
That's actually a pretty good sting. Only half bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. This one's dark. Terrifying. I'll have nightmares about my own face here.
Yeah, you will.
What the fuck? All right, I suppose.
It's doubled up.
Yeah, that's hi.
I'm sure this is really riveting for people who are watching.
Well, some of them might be wondering how we did this, and to that we would say hashtag still not sponsored, bitch.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it changes both my mouth movement. That's fucking freaky. Ha
Doom 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 doom.
Oh, is there a Fiend one?
Yeah, Wyatt the Fiend.
That's fun.
Let me in.
Let me in. Let me in.
Oh, that's a different one.
Yeah. A nice background and everything. I'll stick with this one.
See if this one's any good. The answer.
Anyway,
is no.
moving on to SmackDown. We do have a couple things on SmackDown that happened.
Nope, that one blows.
Obviously, we've already talked a little bit about the Sheamus Drew McIntyre. I think that's going to end up in, wow, you're just a floating face. I think that's going to end up in Sheamus, Drew McIntyre both being in that ladder match in an attempt to cancel each other out, maybe. I don't know. Let me in. Okay, that's creeping my shit out, too. I don't want to play that game. I just want to be something fun.
Here you go. You really want to get creeped out.
Ah, fuck!
See if I can get it to show you.
Dude, stop! Oh, it's too funny.
It doesn't stay showing long enough.
What is it?
Maybe you have to scroll around now. It's not. It's somewhere, I guess. It just you have to look around with the camera. It wouldn't work. It's a dancing, sexy Shrek. I was gonna give you nightmares with it.
Sexy Shrek, huh?
Yep. Sexy Shrek.
There we go. That's legit for me. Oh, what's up, Nux? Nux, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
You don't want Nux with Nux. Just saying.
No, knock your ass out.
Nothing doesn't move though. Anywho, we're getting sidetracked.
As always, my friend. As always.
Well, because we're getting sidetracked, it might be just one of those.
Well, no, let's talk.
Mario.
Because Gunther is now the I'm sorry, I don't know who the fuck Gunther is. I'm just reading. Walter is now the Intercontinental Champion. So there's been a lot of talk lately about who would be the one. Roman's beat everybody, all challengers so far. There's nobody for him to face still. Well, we've got obviously Riddle, and we've got Walter, Cody. I feel like there's more than enough to do here. Are you enjoying this being... Oh, now you're Wario, huh?
Apparently now I'm Wario. I literally don't know how I just...
Can he be Waluigi, which is like the dumbest name for Luigi's Evil? Or can he be just Ouija? Woo-Ouija. Oh, yeah.
I literally don't know how I'm changing it.
Oh, is it with your mouth?
My eyebrows? My eyebrows.
Ah. Well done, young grasshopper. Well done. Oh, you can see my eyes. I'm a beautiful puppy. Aw, he's a cute little flower.
I'm going back to my tried and true.
Yeah, hey, that's a good move.
But, yeah, I don't know. Frankly, I'm. Other people are excited over Gunther winning. I'm not. I have no faith in their handling of that character. And I have no faith.
Is it just me, or is he thinned out some?
He has. He's because Vince McMahon came to him and said, "I don't like fat people. If you want to be successful in my company, you can't be fat."
But he looks weaker because of it.
I agree. Vince McMahon, not so much. But for me, like I said, I'm kind of out on that. I don't know. Now, I still point out to people I don't get to watch SmackDown Live. And this week I didn't get to watch much of it at all because, shit hitting the fan. But I don't know. Their booking of the IC belt has been poor over the last year. It's basically an afterthought. So much so that Ricochet had it for how long?
Look
it up.
It's the point.
Ricochet. Does my computer be slow?
There we go. That's the one.
WWE.com.
I should probably also mention to the ladies that I am now single.
Sit on my face and tell me that you love me.
Lie, motherfucker, lie, motherfucker, lie.
Sit on your face and say I love you too. Jesus. WWE.com is slow. Slow.
It's one of those where if you're designed to give it a lot more content than it has room for.
98 days. He won it on March 4th. 98 days he was the IC title holder.
And that was his second title defense.
As far as I know, yeah.
I don't know that that's accurate, but fuck, it feels like it. Their mid-card's getting no love.
And that's my point is, so them throwing the IC belt on Gunther means jack all to me.
It probably needs to be a...
Okay, so since March when he won it, he's had actually quite a lot of defenses, right? But the fact that we thought maybe that was his second says a lot. Now, a lot of them were at house shows and stuff like that, so we're going to get rid of those.
Sure.
So he won it on SmackDown in March 4th. On SmackDown the next week, he had a rematch with Sami Zayn and won. He had a contenders match the next SmackDown with Humberto, who defeated him. And then the following SmackDown, later on that same SmackDown, Angel defeated him in 2 minutes and 10 seconds. And then Austin Theory defeated him in 1:45, but it wasn't a title match on Raw, the WrestleMania Raw. And then he had a triple threat match on SmackDown where he defeated Angel and Humberto. And then he defeated Jinder Mahal on the next SmackDown. And then he defeated Shanky on SmackDown. And then he defeated... I gotta come over here. SmackDown, he defeated... that was a dark match. So he... on Saturday Night Main Event, which was a house show, but they named it. So he defeated Jinder Mahal and Sami Zayn. And then the next night he defeated Sami Zayn. But those are house shows, so they don't really count. But then on SmackDown, he lost to Gunther, right? And so the fact that we don't remember any of those matches, Ricochet versus Sami Zayn should be fucking tearing down the house, right? They gave it, let's see, the rematch after he won. The match that he won was 8 minutes and 20 seconds. The rematch where he retained was 12 minutes and 59 seconds. But then 2 weeks later, they had him lose in 2 minutes to Angel.
Such is the case. I think it'd be really funny if JLB got on here right now. He's like, "Oh, you're doing the Danhausen thing," and I was just like, "Yeah, he sure is."
No, you should say no. So then your nose grows. No, he's not.
WWE's Money in the Bank is going to be the best pay-per-view of the year. See?
JLB's not going to come on because he is so tired from karaoke.
I would venture to guess you're probably a little more tired than he is.
I would venture to put that, yeah. I don't know why these put this weird filter on me.
Gray hue.
It's supposed to just be like, oh, there's a nose piercing right on the tip of my nose. That's where you put nose piercings. Here.
Oh, okay.
I'll match you with a big floppy nose.
Oh, you got the floppy one. Yours is a little more flaccid, and mine is rigid. I've used the flaccid one.
I don't see the difference on this one. Nope, I don't think they're doing anything on these. This one's not floppy. Okay, no, that's not right. My nose shouldn't be that small. See here. Normal. Small nose. Normal.
Well, it's like you're doing
Small nose.
surgery on yourself. As for
Normal.
everything else,
Normal.
we didn't. Well, let's look at the raw results because I don't really remember raw results. Bleacher Report. Sorry.
I'm gonna just do a point out the obvious. We don't have JLB on, and Ambrosia hasn't said hi yet. Coincidence?
I think not. So we knew about Cody being attacked by Seth, and CBS Sports messed this up. Is this like from a different year? No, this is the right one. Dana Brooke beat Becky Lynch by pinfall.
Mm-hmm.
God, this is so stupid. It's like they take turns deciding which brand is just going to suck.
And that's why I say it's so frustrating because it comes after a legitimately good pay-per-view, right?
Yeah.
They show us that they can put together a good show, and then they just fucking don't.
But we didn't get any of Lashley on there. That's what I thought. I was going to talk Lashley, and I was like, well, fuck, they didn't even have him on. But you've got to be happy. Veer came.
Yeah.
And destroyed Dominic.
Again. I feel like I'm Joey Janela right now.
I feel like you are too.
You're lying.
Touch it. Touch it. No? I gotta
Put on
touch
the
it.
Pit Vipers here.
Anyway, so I don't know. I mean, Omos beats up Cedric Alexander. Okay. Sure. Oh, Oh, Top Gun. Have you seen it yet?
No. It's going to have to hit streaming before I see it. 4-year-old and, things and the thing that I didn't get to mention at the beginning of as I drove the 3 hours to the hospital where my mom was in the ICU, my car dies. So now that's going to be the priority is fix the car. What's going on behind me? What is it? Oh, geez.
Other jets.
We need to be inverted. Yeah.
There. That didn't do anything.
I'm in the Alps. I can't shake him. He's on my tail.
Oh, sorry. Well, Canada Gooses.
Goose! No!
Yep. I'm back.
Listen, those are Canada's gooses. You got a problem with Canada's gooses. You got a problem with me, and I suggest you think about that.
You let that marinate.
I think we've gone far enough off the rails, and I'm
yes, we have.
So.
This is fun, but I don't think we have to do it a lot. And
no,
quite frankly, I don't know that we got enough storyline from WWE to talk about it a whole lot.
Yeah. I think AEW and New Japan with the Forbidden Door are setting up some good storylines. Although we still have fucking 3 weeks until that. And so who knows what's all going to happen. I would love to see something big happen on AEW this week. To really set it up. We have significantly less time until the WWE Raw that we will actually be at.
Yeah, 8 days, bud.
Yep, maybe it won't suck. Maybe.
We gotta be that guy.
I'm trying to be positive, man.
Canada Gooses.
But anyways, if you sat through and listened to this whole rambling, incoherent mess of a podcast, I appreciate you. You're the real heroes here.
That's what we appreciate about you.
That's what we appreciate. Oh, that's what you appreciate.
Yes.
But I'm just gonna say your sister's hot.
We have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about in the future. Right now, we have just a little bit of stuff to talk about. You can find Detective Mark Smarks at
Raw and Order WBU, just like it's down there at pretty much any place except at Pissant Podcast on Facebook, because Facebook is fucking weird. I don't know. You can follow DA Fabe at
DA Vincent K Fabe right there. Only on Twitter because, yeah, fuck it.
You can follow JLB at the shit that's in the doobly-doos if you really want to. I mean, he'll probably going to be all like, oh, I was too tired from karaokeing to, do it.
Also, side note, you can go to our Patreon page, all that different stuff, our link tree, all those fun things. More importantly, you can go to our merch store and support us. And you can get a Raw and Order WBU shirt. Like that one, those who can't podcast, or those who can't wrestle podcast, you can get a Raw and Order WBU shirt. You can get the signature shirt, which he has behind him. I cannot point to it. Yeah, right there. And I have right there. And then you can get a hat like he has right there.
And a variety of designs.
Yes. And the most important way, the best way that you can support us is by liking, sharing,
and subscribe.
And just show up. Just show up, throw a comment in. I understand that we occasionally have podcasts like this that are distracted and crazy and stuff like that. And so we'll do our best to keep that to a minimum. We usually do.
I didn't even open a pack today.
Well, let's open a pack. I'll get mine out too.
You don't got none. I just grabbed the last pack in the thing. So we'll see if this is any good. Well, I'm already happy with the number 1 card.
So what'd you get?
Mr. Finn Balor. Number 2 is a hollow of Shinsuke Nakamura. Number 3 is the MVP. And how fitting it would be,
most valuable promoter,
that number 4
sorry.
So yeah, that pack fell apart towards the end, but that's
you almost got a good pack there.
Almost. Pun always intended. Merch link in bio. On that, yeah, we're done. We're done. Thank you if you came to the live stream and actually listened through all of this. If you're listening to this on the podcast or on one of the replays, we appreciate that as well. We promise other episodes won't be quite so scatterbrained. I'm going on 36 hours of straight up, and I just needed something that wasn't your mom's almost dying. So, but on that
feel
note,
it and I understand it, bud.
Yep.
So.
Go ahead and close the book and let you guys go. Thank you all for listening. We will see you soon.
Deuces.